Hello everyone, this is Shiny Noctales, and tonight I figured it'd be nice to just do a short video for you guys for 2004Scape. This video I just want to mainly focus on selling the D-hide I got from last video. And speaking of which, Devlin D just logged in, so I'll see if I can message him and see if he's interested in buying the D-hide. There. The Also got some room plate legs. Let's see what else. Oh, let me also trade some eye patches. Might as well do that. Let's see. Let's see here. Figured he'd or she would enjoy that. There's another theme that I really liked. Alright. Come on now. Silly. Hey, EOD Recorder, hope you're doing well tonight. Glad you could join the stream. See if I can get him. Thanks. No, no, I appreciate it. His name is Jem, like me. Except in game, my name is Jem Reinbu, and he's also Jem, and it's always nice to have him around. Currently waiting for Devlin at the moment. He's interested in buying some D'hide for me. Maybe in the meantime, I'll see if anyone else in Varrock wants to buy anything. Oh, see if I can get this. Love gifting eye patches. Okay, now I just have to see if anyone wants to buy some rune plate legs or also um, some rune darts. Oh, Beckman. See if I can get Beckman. There he is, Devlin D. Uh, don't worry. I got a I got Devlin who was interested. Hmm. Just got to be a wee bit more careful, because because they can people can PK you if you're not careful. Who's that myth lord in the bank? To see. Um, I think 40 is pretty fair for sort of, yeah, kitty cat kush. It's a good name. Here we go. They are. I think I have a body talisman, don't I? Yeah. Got that one. How much you want for that? I think they usually go for 5k. What does 5k sound for the chaos? Alright. Let me get my Runescape out. When I show you my dehyde stack. There you go. I got. Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, whatever. No, okay. What I can't believe him. He's just left. Crazy. Well, I didn't message him back about how many I had just because I was busy trading Kitty. But yeah, that was silly. Let me see if he's interested in cake. Hold on. Oh no, he left. Wait, did he leave? I got. I'll have to see how much. Uh, how does 600 sound? There. Gift you a chocolate cake. These gold ones. Not sure. No, I can't believe it. Funny. No. Silly. Wait, no, he declined? I can't believe it. No. Hold on. No. I got them already. Hold on. There. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream a little bit early too, so I can get some sleep here in a wee bit. I just wanted to mainly do a trading stream, this time, guys. Feel that was worth it. Might check to see what runes I can get. Well, let me see that other player real quick. Oh, let me add Kitty Cat Kush, just in case she's interested in anything in the future. Ain't no way bro got gilded ranger boots. You never know. Let's see here. I can't believe Beckman though. He didn't want 4 rune arrows. I can't believe it. And he logged off. No. I can't believe it. It's silly. He's like, you need to give me at least 100. But, I mean, at least 4 is more than 0, so it's always something. Oh, this actually looks not too bad. 4 times rare rate this week, and I'm pretty sure ends in 20 hours. Oh, isn't rare weekend over, or I guess we have one more week? 'Cause I haven't got anywhere. I wish I would have for you guys for the stream, but I don't know if RPG's got anything, but I've kind of been dry on that. Oh, it was extended. I didn't even know that. Oh, maybe I'll just stream a little bit longer then. If we can still get rares now, then we can see. Oh shoot, I didn't even mean to do that. I meant to go to I meant to go to the watchtower. Hold on. Yeah, but Beckman, I love Beckman in One Piece, but he just he he couldn't be bothered. There he is. You know, I was thinking if I do some maging t tonight, I was thinking I could do it at Red Dragons, but if I get a rare, I know I'll probably get a team on me. And so maybe I should I don't know if I were to mage, maybe I should do it at Blue Dragons tonight. We'll see. Ooh. Oh wow. That's crazy how many chaos runes are available for sale. Never seen that many at once. Can I buy them? No. That's one thing I love about the Wizards Guild. You can always get some neat stuff. Oh, you should try to world hop and buy a bunch. Yeah, I was surprised. I think this should be fine for now. Or I don't know if it's because it's rare weekend or I don't. Maybe people don't want to log out because maybe they feel like they'll lose a chance of getting a rare. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I've gotten that many at once before. Chaos runes are going for how much right now? 100 GP each. I can't believe it. It's gone down. No. No. It makes me feel like Dragon Bones. I mean, there was a time where it definitely was that cheap, but it's amazing how it's kind of gone back down. I know we tend to be in disbelief a lot of the time, but that was nuts. Okay, maybe I'll just mage a few blue dragons before I end the stream, because yeah, just maybe like one or two runs, and then I'm gonna probably call it a night. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't realize I still had that up. Let's see. I did some videos on Ancestry if you guys are interested in watching them. Uh, some upgrades that they have on the website can be a bit expensive, but it's worth it though. Like if you're interested in really kind of getting a deep dive on your roots. I mainly got like a lot of Celtic ancestry that has shown up for me. My dad got Celtic as well, including some Burgundian, Danish, Donny, Scandinavia, and then his partner got like a bunch of Viking, Swedish, and all that. That was pretty interesting. I did get a little bit of Viking, Danish, I think, but yeah, it's some pretty neat stuff if you just want to learn a little bit more about your specific roots. Yeah, I got a Gallo-Celtic. So Gallo-Celtic is essentially like Celtic ancestry from the Iron Age, not only from Britain and Ireland, but also from like France. Before it was called France by the Franks, it was called Gaul. So it'd be that area, that it would be like parts of Spain and Portugal, parts of southern Germany, northern Italy, Belgium, and Netherlands. So quite a few areas. Uh, yeah, my ancestry was predominantly Celtic. I know some people think Celtic ancestry is only from Britain and Ireland, and I have some Celtic ancestry from there too. But what I learned is Celtic ancestry from there, it's Celtic, but it's also Bell-beaker. Because before the Celts had reached Britain and Ireland, there were people already there. And the people already there were really, I guess, closer to like Scandinavians genetically. I guess some of them were, like, because I think the Bell-beaker ancestry is closer to that. And then when the Celts came, then they mixed with those people already there, and that's how you got Celts in Britain and Ireland. And so it's really interesting to learn about because I honestly didn't know that until I read a bit more into it. Because like I looked at like ancestry of Britain and Ireland before the Celtic Age, and a lot of them still were matching with like Danish and Norwegian and North Dutch and all that. And I was like, how can that be? And then I learned, oh, it's because of Bell-beaker. And I think I had like some Bell-beaker ancestry from like Germany from like 25 or 4,500 years ago. And then I could see the DNA was mainly like Norwegian and Swedish and all that. So yeah, it's definitely interesting how some people might think the North Germanic or Scandinavian tribes that they didn't really get into Britain and Ireland until the medieval period, but it seems like their DNA was already there for 4, even 5,000 years, which is pretty interesting to think about. And of course, sometimes with medieval ancestry or ancient ancestry from Ireland and Scotland, you can also sometimes see Basque as well. That's another one. Basque is like northeast Spain, southern France. Um, but you do see some like Celtic batches closer to like matches from like France and Spain and Portugal and Belgium and Netherlands too. Later on in during the Celtic period in Ireland and Britain, it's just kind of scattered. You'll see one here and there. So I'm sure my background is a big mix of potluck. Yeah, it's really interesting because I honestly didn't know what my full background was before. I thought that like I wasn't sure if my ancestry was like mainly like Roman or Japanese, Native American, or what it really was. But my uncle Cherokee Japanese Herman kept calling me Celtic Healer, Celtic Healer. And then I looked at my DNA, and a lot of my DNA is really Celtic. Um, and then my dad, I was surprised how much Scandinavian he got from like Denmark. it was like ancient Danes, and that was pretty interesting. And then some Burgundian. I learned a little bit about the Burgundians, if only because they they were like a part of France before I guess the Huns kind of raided them from Germany. Because I think at the time some of the Huns were there in modern day Germany, and it's interesting because my dad's name Siggy is actually from the Volsunga saga, which is like Norse. Yeah, well, he I guess he is because he definitely had like a lot of ancient Danish ancestry, which is like those were like the Danes before the Danish Vikings, or before there were people known as Danish Vikings. I guess they were the Danish Dani. So I had that. So he had that, and then he also had Viking Danish, and I had some of that too. Um, and so falling apart over here, man. 4 a.m. For no worries, egregious. Hope you're hanging in there, or hope you get some good sleep. So I learned the Volsunga saga was essentially Siggy was the son of Odin, and he fought the dragon Fafnir, and he acquired a vast amount of treasure from the dragon. But apparently, when he went to the Burgundian court, because I think he was interested in marrying one of the Burgundian noble woman or noble women, I think that's how you say it. Uh, Apologies for that. In Burgundy, France, I guess some of the other people in the court, were interested in his treasure as well as Attila the Hun. And so you kind of had this really weird situation where you had Siggy, having this dragon horde, and then you had the Burgundians on one side and Attila the Hun and his forces on the other side. And I think Siggy eventually passed away, and then his wife or his widow married Attila the Hun, I think. And then apparently some of the Burgundian court wanted to take revenge on Attila. And I don't know if that's another reason why France and Germany sometimes have bad blood. You know? And I kind of felt a little bit bad for Siggy and for the dragon both because they're kind of both stuck in the corner between these two forces that were just trying to one up each other. And but yeah, like yeah, you team France or team I'm team Celtic. Uh if Team France is Team Burgundy and Team Germany is Team Hun, the Tale of the Hun, I'm Team Celtic. And Celtic can include parts of France, Germany, Belgium, um Spain, Netherlands, Northern Italy, and I guess it would Britain and Ireland too. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm Team Celtic. I'm Team Celtic, Rheinbu Arcoides. So basically like the intersection between Zeus and Odin. But yeah, I just um I just thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, a lot of my Celtic DNA is genetically closest to like the Spanish, the Portuguese, French, South Dutch, North Italian, Flemish. Flemish would be like Belgium. So yeah, I've been learning a little bit of French and Dutch because ever since I've been playing Legends EA, I kind of wanted to learn some of the languages kind of in between North and South. And I find French interesting, the language, but I also like Dutch because Dutch almost sounds like a Scottish, like someone speaking in a Scottish accent. Like if you say in Dutch, you'd say if you want to say you can't do this, or at least you can, you'd say you couldn't do this. But like I guess in Scottish, you probably would say something closer to you can do this. Or you can do it sounds very similar because I learned that Scots, you know, they were Celtic, but they also had like some West Germanic influence. So it was like the Dutch and Scottish, you know, sometimes they'd overlap between each other. And so, because like some people from Germany would say, you know, why would you want to learn Dutch when you can just learn German? And I said, well, uh, if you learn how to speak Dutch, you know, there's some magic there. You know, there's a no, you can do this, or you could. I almost feel like in Scottish, you could would be you can't. You know, so that's why I kind of find it funny. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do this. Yeah. Yeah, I personally enjoy it. I know mainly people from Germany, they make fun of the Dutch language. But I actually like it. And it's interesting that for a lot of the Celtic matches I had, not all of them, but the majority, they were mainly genetically closer to like South Dutch on average, more than German. Um, I think there was one I had that was like French, West German, and South Dutch. But I know even German itself, there's like East German, North German, and German Central. Um, but no, I find Dutch to be I kind of enjoy it. It's really close to English, well, sort of ish. It's closer than German is. And it just has a like at least to me, I kind of like the tone of it. My family history is German and I know like nothing about it. Yeah, I mean, I have an uncle named Uncle Cherokee Japanese Herman, but whenever it would tell Germans about Cleves, which is like a town in northwestern Germany, very close to the Netherlands, they would say, "What is that?" Because maybe they're kind of used to hearing like Frankfurt or Berlin or Bavaria or um, Cologne or some other German cities or Hamburg. But I tell them about Cleves and they're like, "What's that?" We don't know what that is. And then maybe that's why like my dad got all the Danish Donny ancestry. Maybe there were a bunch of Danish Donny descendants that lived there, or maybe even some Celtic, you know, or maybe Burgundian. I don't know. Definitely a motley crew of sorts. It seems like. Um, yeah, when I think of cleaves, it makes me think of like Fell Cleave, like from Final Fantasy 14, where you know Fell Cleave is like a very powerful weapon you can use with like a battle axe. And so it kind of makes me think of that. Um, but yeah, I think Germany can be actually more diverse than people think. I know some people don't see it like that, but yeah, it's interesting. And I can also tell because like there's some people in Germany that look a certain way, and then depending on the region or even depending on their ancestry, you know, some can look very similar, some can look very different. Um, you know, I just like I've learned the word rainbow in like Norwegian and Danish. It's regnbue, and I love the regnbue. I feel like there's a magic to it when you say regnbue. That's how you would also say it in. That's why I also tell the Japanese like because I do have a bit of ancestry related to Japanese and native Japanese Americans, and so I'll say I'm rainbue Japanese. Because like in Japan, if you're a hafu or if you're half Japanese, you're hafu, or maybe if you're quarter Japanese, you're quarter fu. But I say I'm Raimu because at that point, you know, once you get to like 12% Japanese, you got like at least eight other colors of the rainbow, and they like the rainbow. They appreciate it. So I'm glad I've been able to be a good example of that. And and so yeah, so there's the rainbow in Danish and Norwegian, and then there's Regenboog in Dutch, which I think I prefer the Rheinbu a little bit more, but I still don't mind Regenbui. That's fine as well. And then German is like Regenbogen, and out of the three, I think I'm not the biggest fan of that one, but yeah, Reinbusen. Yeah, no, I like Reinbu the most, but Dutch is like a middle ground, Regenbui, because it's like in the middle, but I, and I've tried to look at a little bit of learning a little bit of Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian. Um, I feel like with those languages, I like reading the words, but like when it comes to like sentences, some reason I like Dutch. It's like you couldn't do this. You can do this. Yeah, my British English friend Maffy, she calls me her favorite Scottish American. You can do this. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to see if I get any Danish, Dani, or other Scandinavian ancestry, because I know my dad got a ton of it. But we'll see if I got anything. I know I have some cousins that I've checked on my true ancestry that are from Scandinavia, and I did get like that match from like Norway, like the Viking with the sword that reminded me of Scotsman from Samurai Jack, and then also Zangetsu from Bleach, who reminded me a lot of Odin. He was like the Odin that said, at first I wasn't sure how I felt about you mixing with all these other people Ichigo, but as I saw you, being leading the path of Shinigami, I was convinced that you chose a path that was ultimately for the better. And then Zangetsu or Odin, said, he was satisfied, and that was a really good scene. I really enjoyed it, and because that's what I always try to tell my uncle Cherokee Japanese Herman. He always says, what about Thor? What about Thor? I said, well, you can have Thor, you can have Ares, you can have Odin, you can have Zeus, or you can also have Celtic healer in between those two, and you can have Cernunnos and Epina and Dagda and Tarnus, and also a lot of I guess the Celtic pantheon, if you want to call it that as well. But and then I think I got one match in my DNA ancestry that reminded me a lot of RPG, and I sent it to Hendrik, and I told him, this reminds me a lot of RPG. It was a match from like the Netherlands from like 4,000 years ago, like a very like an older match. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to German ancestry, I know a lot of people, especially here in the U.S., they'll make it pretty abundantly clear if they're part German. I don't know if the same thing is true for people with Scandinavian ancestry. I feel like if people have Scandinavian ancestry, they don't really speak about it as much. But I do know when people do have German ancestry, they do tend to say, I am German. you know, maybe they just connect with it more, know more about it. I know my dad's partner said she didn't really know about her ancestry aside from being Anglo-Saxon white. And then when I told her about the Vikings, she said, "Yeah, I'm not really related to them." And then I did her DNA test, and she had a bunch of Viking Swedish, and so be interesting to see what she says when she watches the video. Um, yeah, I haven't met too many people here in the U.S. who have spoken about French ancestry, though. Um, I think it's usually German, Italian, Irish, and Scottish. think those are the main four that people usually mention. Maybe sometimes Polish too, maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess Mexican too, that'd be another one. A Native American. And of course African American. Yeah, I don't know if I've met someone that said in the US, you know, I'm a Belgium American. Other than my dad, you know, says I'm part Belgium. Or Belgian, yeah. And Belgian, like, cause I had some matches with Belgium as well. I think that's like a mix of like Celtic and Germanic. So it's not entirely Germanic and it's not entirely Celtic. It's like kind of like in the between, which I guess kind of makes sense because it makes me think of like the Netherlands and France, where you know, because there's actually um, in some places in France, there's actually a lot more Celtic ancestry than people think. Because aside from the French, you had people there that were already there, and maybe that's why you know in Belgium you have one side that speaks French and the other side that speaks Dutch. I think both languages are good in their own way. Um, I think the reason why I understand French a little bit is because I know how to speak Spanish. And there are some words in French and Spanish that are similar, like amour and amour, both mean love. And that's also because, you know, they were connected via Proto-Celtic, Latin. Um, I know some French people could be pretty uppity about things, but a lot of people that I met that were like that weren't even from France proper. A lot of them were from Canada that were speaking French. And I know that's also another can of worms, but it's just kind of one of those things. I feel like a French person uh getting mad at, you know, saying amour instead of amour, or even just pronunciation of amour. It's almost like if you had like a really uppity German person getting mad at a Dutch person saying, you know, you're not saying Reinbu or Regenbui, or you need to say Regenbogen, or you need to say it my way. You know? Yeah, sometimes I feel like there are certain instances where like French and the German mentality, like the uppity mentality, can actually intersect. And I know they probably wouldn't like me saying that, but sometimes I can see it. Like I can see like the um just them wanting things a certain way. Thankfully, it's not all Germans or some French or all French, but I can kind of see the intersection where they, um, and maybe it's because they actually do have shared ancestry. Some of them, like was watching a sample from someone, he had DNA from Germany. Then I saw another person with DNA from Northeast France, and they almost had like the same DNA. Like they were mainly related to like Cherusci and Frank. Now, I know my Uncle Herman connects a lot with the Cherusci because, you know, he mentioned Herman Siegfried fighting three Roman legions, you know, when Rome tried to invade Germania during that period. But sometimes I tell myself, I know you say you're French and I know you say German, but sometimes you guys have such similar DNA that it's almost like you guys went to different sides of the border, but you still have shared ancestry. But, you know, I know they'll probably argue about it. So it almost makes me think of like someone from like Norway and Sweden. It's like you know, if they had very similar Viking ancestry, and a Norwegian that, well, he's Swedish, he's not Norwegian, and Swedish is like, well, he's Norwegian, not Swedish. But I think they're better about it though. I think I was watching Bjorn from Norway, and he was pretty flexible with, you know, saying, you know, the Vikings the Swedes and Norwegians and the Danes, like we kind of like are a family of sorts. So, yeah. Yeah, like I find it fascinating to learn about all this. It can be a lot at times, but it's definitely worth it. And I've been having a lot of fun actually with Legends ZA. That's another thing too. I don't know if it's just the way the Japanese developers make games based in France or what it is, but I feel like sometimes when I play the games and like Lightning Returns or Legends ZA, I ask myself why is the clock so important in these games? It's almost like it almost makes me think of like how like Germans, some of them are very punctual with time, and I tell myself, why? Uh, I mean, maybe some of the French are too, but you know, Index family history is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. I just noticed like with Lightning Returns, like it's kind of like a Majora's Mask esque like time frame. It was pretty fun though. Like I had fun with that game. But when I saw like time was very important too in Legends EA, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm being rushed to like complete a challenge, before the night becomes day and day becomes night, you know. Maybe it's just like a game mechanic that they wanted to do. Uh, well, other than that, it's been fun. Uh, I I think Legends EA it really um it's a fun game. I know some people have complained about it. My only complaint is really just sometimes the time. Sometimes you feel like you're being rushed, but other than that, everything else is pretty good. You looked into Celtic food. A little bit, a little bit. Because I've seen some videos of like Celtic food from like Britain and Ireland. I haven't checked as much in France or Spain, though. If I were to guess, I know boar. Like the like not necessarily like a pig, but like a wild boar. Um, would have been a popular dish amongst the Celts, especially in France and Spain. And I don't know about France, but I know Spain and maybe Portugal are both big into ham. And I actually had a ham and egg sandwich today, or some ham and egg sandwiches. And so yeah, I know boar would be one dish that would be very popular. Like could be like boar sandwiches, maybe like a boar stew. Aside from boar though, I don't know if in Britain and Ireland if they made like a dish with like deer or something, but yeah, it's uh it's interesting to think about. And actually, pigs, it's interesting because I know there are some cultures that they don't eat pigs at all because they have a negative view of them. I think the Greeks would eat pigs, but they also sometimes would kind of go back and forth. I think the Celts were the ones that really kind of enjoyed, pig or boar to the fullest. Um, and actually, it's a good dish, War stew sounds fitting for RuneScape, yeah. Yeah, I think the thing with pigs is, you know, I feel like pigs are an animal just like a cow or just like any other animal that um they to me it's like because I know some people would say like well the pigs are unclean or whatever, but I don't really see it that way. I see the pig just as worthy as the cow or just as worthy as any other animal. Um, and I always kind of like think of like pigs, like when they're happy, like they kind of like snort and they they do their thing, and I'm sure boars do something similar too. And of course cows too, like they have their own sounds that when they're pleased. Um, my sign is actually Taurus, by the way. I'm the sign of the bull. Um, but yeah, like I just think if people get uppity about, we're not going to eat pork or we're not going to eat boar or anything because we have a superiority complex. I don't know. It's but there are some people that just don't like certain foods. Like some people don't like shrimp, some people don't like fried eel. I know fried eel is like a weird example, but in Japan they eat fried eel, and I remember I went to Japan, and this was years ago with my mom and her partner. Were serving us fried eel, and he was like, "I'm not gonna eat that." And then we started eating it, and he's like, "Well, like maybe I should give it a try." Um, Now that you mention it, I don't think bacon pork exists in RuneScape. Uh, yeah, I think stew does, and technically you could have like a boar stew. You could also have like a beef stew. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I think one thing in RuneScape that you would have a lot of for food is definitely like a lot of fish, um, bakery goods, um, pizza. Well, I guess pizza's also kind of a savory bakery good in its own right, if you see it like that. Um, yeah, and there's so many different Celtic tribes as well. That's like the thing with the Celts. It's just like with the Germanic tribes. Like there's all these Germanic tribes, and we're Norse tribes, or however you want to look at it. But that's the same thing as well with the Celts. Um, the ones I was most related to were like the Gallo-Celtic Sequani and Aedui. Um, and those were Celts that lived in France. Well, what is now known as France, and some of them lived closer to Switzerland. Some of them lived either a little bit further north, a little bit further south. Really interesting stuff. But yeah, they were related not only to like the modern day French, because the modern day French also have like Frank and Cherusci and other ancestry as well, but they were also related to like Spanish, like specifically there were some areas like Galicia, which is like northwest Spain, Portuguese, certain parts of Spain, south of Galicia. Um, it even goes back to like kind of like intersecting with like ancient Greek or Trojan ancestry from like Mycenaean Greece. Because there are some words that in Mycenaean Greek, Spanish, and Proto-Celtic that are very similar. Like the word quattuorus, or quattro. It'd be like four in Mycenaean Greek, Proto-Celtic, Spanish, I guess to an extent Proto-Italic and Latin. Deca is another word, which is like 10. Um, and yeah, I think the Proto-Celts of the Iron Age, though, at least in France and parts of Germany, they also mixed with some Germanic tribes as well, like Batavi, which is a tribe that was said to be connected to like the Netherlands. Thuringi is another one, which is like they were said to have. There's a place in Germany that's known as the Emerald Heart of Germany, Thuringia. But maybe some of them were in France or Netherlands or other areas even before they were known to be in Germany. Another one was Visigoth, the Goths, but the Visigoths were widely known in Spain, Portugal. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff for sure. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the stream for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys had fun watching. Always nice sharing this with you guys. And I think I'll be off. Hope you guys take care.